Hey there, my dear and fellow entrepreneurs. So this is Thiago Mazeo from Britzzlink.com, and for this video I brought a really special guest. It's Yves from Lufu. It's a company that was founded in my program of Entrepreneurship and Innovation at Lund University. And I brought him over for an interview here at Britzzlink to tell you how was his process, because they got accepted into a food incubator in Malmö, which is quite nice, and they're giving all the support for them to start their own business and go from there. So they help bringing experts to help them out, sort of all the matters from food companies, requirements that they need to go through and everything. So they'll give all the support that they can for those business to thrive. All right. So I brought him over here for a discussion. And with no further ado, let's jump to the interview. Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for being here. I have here a really special guest. So it's Karl Yves Vallin. I'm not sure if I pronounced that correct. Yves, is that correct?
Yeah, just call me Eve. That's the
Yves is better, right? All right, great. All right, so Yves is the CEO and co-founder, I would say, from Lufu. And Lufu is working with looping beans and creating tofu from it. So it's really nice. I'll let him explain a little bit more about it. So if you could just introduce yourself, Yves, and talk a little bit about your background, education, business experience, and so on, that would be great.
Yeah, sure. My name is Eve, and as you might know, I'm Asian. I have like Asian roots, definitely. I come from Indonesia, and yeah, like when it's come to the background, I've been working in the startup back then. I actually a co-founder of the tech education in Thailand before I entered this master. So this is definitely not the first time I end up in the startup world, in a sense. And in terms of educational backgrounds, I actually graduate in Master in Psychology from Lund University. And then I just decided that, yeah, I think I might just give it a go when it's come to entrepreneurship. That's why I decided to take my second master in the entrepreneurship. And now I'm here, changing my whole career from
Yeah.
psychology to the food industry.
Well, that's really cool, man. And how was to have an experience previously in a startup? Did it help in the process, or how do you feel about that?
I think like working in a startup and like founding a startup back then definitely helpful a lot. I mean, at least like for example, like I graduate in psychology, so I don't really have business background in terms of academic. However, I've been learning a lot of theory from my previous work as well, from my previous startup. So in a sense, that has been really helpful when it's come to academic. So I like for example, I've been really familiar with all of the lingo, and also I already familiar with how the work is gonna be. I guess like that's the expectation that we need to put really, because before we end up in a startup, we always think that everything is gonna be unicorn and rainbow, but once you're in, it's a completely different story. So that's definitely has been helpful before. So give me a bigger understanding on what kind of thing that I have to expect.
That's really cool, man. So as you guys know, like is in my class in the master degree at Lund University in Entrepreneurship and Innovation, but he's also working on the side, which I have to take my hat for you, man, because you have to manage all the assignments we have in the university with the thesis and also work on the side. So it's a lot on your plate. Can you just describe how is this process? How have you been dealing with, and how's it going for you? And how do you manage your time specifically?
Yeah, so basically I'm working part-time as a project manager at the NGO in Malmö, is the RFSL, so it's LGBTQ rights organization in Sweden. It's actually the oldest LGBTQ right organization in Sweden. And yeah, I mean, as you can see, like studying 100%, starting a new venture plus working 60%, that is definitely something that I will not recommend if you don't have to. I mean, if you have any other possibility, then definitely try to focus on what's your priority, really. If you want to focus on the venture, then definitely spend on time on that. However, probably not everyone is as lucky as the others. So like, for example, some people might need to get money to, just to cover the basic living or like rent, or if you want to save something, then definitely you can handle that. However, I can promise that it's not going to be easy. I mean, with this master, when they say 100%, it's literally more than 100% in a sense.
Yeah.
So,
and one thing, like the course is being held online all the way. Do you think if we had on-campus classes, would it be worse or better for your scenario of working part-time and studying at the same time?
I think it's really depend. I think in the first semester, when it's come to the physical class, I think it's going to be way much harder for me to get to the job, because my work is in Malmö. It's a different city, so I have to spend another like hours at least to get there. So I mean, if we have a physical class, then I have to make sure that I have to go to the campus and then go to Malmö. Then definitely that's not going to be time convenient. So in a sense, having an online class has been a blessing in disguise for me, because I can manage my time. So like sometimes I also bring my laptop to the office and then like have a class before my work started. So in a sense, I can manage my time as well.
Yeah, that's very interesting, because for me as well, it was kind of a blessing because I was not living in Lund. So if the classes were on campus, I would have to commute every day, and I would lose like easily 2-3 hours commuting every day. So that was a good thing. But we have the other aspect of having it all online at Zoom, that sometimes it's quite boring and tedious.
Indeed.
And like sometimes we feel that we don't get all the stuff that we can get when you have like on-campus teaching. So talking more about the program itself, how is your experience so far with the Entrepreneurship and Innovation program at Lund University? Are you liking it? Are you not liking it? How is it right now?
I mean, it's a pretty hard question to answer, really. But I mean, definitely there's a good side and also there's drawbacks in it. I think the good side of this master is definitely in the networks. And also it's really practical. So in a sense that you have to do something on top of the academic part, which is if you want to learn practical experience, then this is the place to go, really. However, I think when it comes to the drawbacks, like for example, if you already have a business background back in your bachelor, or like for example, I've been like studying during my previous work, then it's kind of a bit of repetitive in a sense when it's come to some of the course. Because I mean, it's understandable, because I think the course that they deliver is more into trying to open for everyone who doesn't have a business background. So they're trying to make it as understandable as possible. But in the same time that we don't really able to learn deep enough. So if you wanna dig deeper, then definitely that's gonna be on your own responsibility. So we have to be proactive on it, I can say.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that point, because I think some stuff that are very important for business owners and entrepreneurs are just taken into a superficial level. And for the patent example, we had like a class of only 1 hour in patent, and I would really like to learn more about it, since it is a really complex subject to talk about, and just 1 hour, it was definitely not enough, and I would like to get more of that instead of other classes that talk more about conflict management and stuff that are more theoretical, and you will learn on the day-to-day basis anyways. But the technical stuff like patents, you definitely need help from an expert, or you'll have to read a lot about it, and it will have a learning curve way different than learning how to deal with your own team. So I think they should definitely do some adjustments there. But like you said, if you don't have a previous background in business, that might be really helpful for you. If you already have, then probably you will have to focus on other sources to get knowledge from. Anything you want to add to that, of what you like or dislike from the program?
I think one thing that I've been learning from this program is just we need to understand and we need to know what do we really want to get out of it, really. Because in terms of academic wise, there will be a lot of deadline, a lot of assignment, and then sometimes we just get lost throughout the all of the deadline and assignment, which just makes sense. I mean, this is academic degree, so we still need to do all of those academic part. However, for example, like for me, since the beginning, I knew that my focus is definitely in the practical experience. And I don't know whether my project is going to survive or not in the future, but that is my goal since the beginning. I just want to learn something. If it's success, it's amazing. If it's not, then at least I can learn something out of it. And then hopefully I can try again in the future with all of the background knowledge that I already get from this master. So I think with that approach, like since the beginning, I tried to tunnel it. Like, what do I really want to do? Like, I think in the beginning, I knew that I want to go in the food industry. So I already start to contact the people from the food technology and all of this basic information that I don't have a food background, definitely. So I need to learn something from outside the programs.
Yeah.
So yeah.
One thing I really liked from one of our classes was an integration with a food course related in Lund University. I think it just happened once and with the food industry. And I think that was a really nice way of connecting the students from our course of entrepreneurship with other courses that are more focused into one subject. And I definitely think the university should explore that even further. So go and mix up us with some engineers or even IT people to try to form the teams, not only with people from our class, but also bringing experts from other areas into our startups and our business ideas. I think that would be really great addition for the program.
Yeah, I definitely agree on that. I think that's one thing that we've been missing this year, because everything is online, so it's way much harder for us to do networking.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's already hard enough to do in real life, and then like especially in Zoom. So that's definitely the biggest challenge, and I think that's the biggest drawback from having the classes in online. Really, academic wise, we definitely can manage it. I mean, we can learn by ourselves, but networking, then I'm just hoping that the faculty or like the program can focus more on the networking. Like, how can they facilitate this? Because otherwise we're gonna miss a huge opportunity from this program.
True, I totally agree with you. So talking about networking and stuff like this, I know every group has a different way of forming itself. How was your experience? How did your team group, and how was that process?
I mean, the way I start my group, like the venture that I start with, I think in the beginning it's just like we have to pitch our own idea and then we have to write down. And I think that was like during the marketing course. So that's definitely interesting, I can say, because like you have to come up with the idea and then you have to come up with a team that you would like to work with, and then everyone come up with the idea. And that's the problem for entrepreneurship, you know, everyone want to be the CEO and everyone has their own idea. But in the end, that you have to make a compromise. And I'm pretty happy actually with all of my team, and I'm pretty grateful with them, because this is like one thing that I've been kind of concerned the most. Like, how can I make sure that I still can learn a practical? So in a sense that we also want to have a team that is close to us. So even though it's a COVID, then we still can do a real thing in real life. So it's not only theoretical, just idea, but we want to implement in real life. So I think that is definitely one thing that we had to put in mind in my team. And also I think we make sure that everyone is on the same page, that we want to try to do it. And that basically, let's say if it's going to be success or not, we don't know, but we just want to do it as much as we can.
Cool. One question, your team is entirely in Lund, or is there anyone outside of Lund?
Yeah, we have like one in Denmark. We have Jacqueline, who is just living in Copenhagen.
Okay.
Yeah.
But have you been meeting personally? How was that through the program?
We met a couple of times actually. We met quite a lot, and then Corona restriction happened, and then it was a bit struggling on how to bring her in, but now since the corona restriction is being lifted, so I think she's gonna come in again. So I think that has been pretty well. And I think, yeah, I think we also have like a regular contact, so I think that's pretty good, just to make sure that everyone is on board. And we always try to do our best just to meet in physical life, to be honest, just to get things done.
Yeah, that's really interesting because my team mostly work online. I just met Alex once at Lund, and Alvin, I don't even know him yet personally because he's sitting in Stockholm. So
Yeah.
it's quite different, I think, if you're able to meet personally with the team, especially for you guys that are working on recipes and prototyping your product. If you guys can meet up and cook together or share the recipes, that's probably a great asset to have the team together and physically together, I mean.
Yeah, because I mean, it's impossible, isn't it? Like, oh, would you like to try my food? And then like, how can you try it through Zoom?
Yeah, exactly. You can share the recipe, but in the end, it might not taste the same if you don't take the steps exactly the same, right?
Exactly. That's definitely the things that we want to meet in a physical life, let's say.
Yeah, true. Just switching a little bit from this, what do you think you have learned in our program that it's definitely helping you guys in the business development of the Lufu?
From the program, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, well, definitely the academic part, that has been quite helpful, because I mean, we knew the lingo, and then we knew also like how to optimize. Like for example, like for me, like I've been working in a startup, but I don't know the academic part of it. So I think this program has complement what I lacked before. Um, but then I think when it's come to the project development, I felt like the mentor has been extremely helpful, because like they're the one who knew the real world, and then they give us the real and concrete example and concrete feedback. So that has been really helpful for Lufu to grow.
Yeah, that's really nice. I think this is one of the main assets from the program, having the mentorship program. It's really interesting and really nice to have it. And have you guys been exploring all the mentors from each person in the group? Have you gathered them all together, or no, just each one deals separately with its own mentor? How it has been your process?
I mean, we met our own mentor regularly. Like for example, like I met my own mentor, and then Jacqueline met her own mentor. But a couple of times we actually invite the mentor to meet us, to meet all of us, really.
Yeah,
Like for example, when we had like some doubt, for example, and also like if we when we would like to get some feedback, and the mentor has been helpful. And then we have like 2 or 3 times when all of the mentor gather together and then give us a feedback right away. So that's really great.
cool. Any mentors that are experts in the food industry?
Um, I I'm not sure actually. I mean, like they're really good at business, but I don't think they're specialized in food technology.
Okay.
But we got referral from our mentors to contact someone else, which is really helpful.
Ah, cool. That's very good and important to get the connections from the mentors as well. That also happened with me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, cool. So we talked a little bit about the prototyping, you guys cooking together, but can you tell us a little bit more how you guys are evolving with the prototyping stage and what are the main challenges you guys are facing with it right now?
Hmm? Yeah, definitely. Like the biggest challenge that we face is actually because we don't have any food technology background. I mean, we knew how to develop the product, but it's pretty hard for us to understand all of the legal administration in Sweden, especially when it's come to the food safety and then food regulation. And especially with food, then we have to be extra careful on that. So that has been a quite challenge and quite struggling, to be honest, in the beginning. But then we thankfully we actually got into the food incubator programs in Malmö, which that has been really helpful and giving us insight on this matter.
All right, that's really cool, man. And how was that? For first of all, congratulations for you guys to join the food incubator in Malmö. How was this process to get into this incubator? How did you find the incubator and this opportunity? Because it was not mentioned in our program. And you guys found it, went for it, applied, and got accepted, which is pretty cool. And how was that process? Can you tell us a little bit more?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I think our team has quite advantage. Like for example, like we have Nick who's Swedish and also speaks Swedish. So like in a sense that I think in comparison to like a full team that is international, we kind of understand the local situation. And another things that I can give a suggestion and tips is be attentive on everything really. Because for example, like this food incubator, actually, I found it on Facebook. I accidentally found it on, because I joined a lot of different group on Facebook when it comes to the food industry, and then also like recipe and stuff. So once you get into one industry, try to dig deep, and then like just join everything, and then eventually then you will get like opportunity that you can apply. And yeah, I mean we found it, and then we just like, yeah, let's just apply, let's see how it goes. And yeah, we were interviewed, and then we got it. So I guess the process is actually, they usually just open application on specific time, and then you have to fill out a form, mentioning about your projects and then the value proposition and everything. And then after that, if you pass the document selection, then they will call you for the interview. And then after the interview, then they will let you know whether you get in or not. And then if you get in, then basically they're like in our program, then we have like a 10 weeks training when it's come to the food. But we also can contact them if we need some consultation, and if we need some referral for network, or just basic question really when it's come to the food industry. So that has been extremely helpful.
That's really cool. And just another question, how was this training? Was it handled everything online as well?
Sadly, yeah. I mean that's just something that we kind of feel sad, but I mean we just have to work with the situation really. Sometimes we don't have any option in life, so we just need to get through it.
Exactly. And what else does the incubator help you guys with within the process of getting your startup ready to go to the market?
I mean, technically, the first one is networks. The second one is knowledge. Um, and especially for people like us who doesn't have food background, then this is a perfect incubator to join, because that's gonna be increasing our knowledge when it comes to all of the food procedures. And also, actually, if I'm not mistaken, we can also ask the consultation. So they also have some expert, so that can help us. For example, if you want to know about the anti-nutrient on specific food, then they can refer us to their expertise, and then we will have like one-on-one consultation or something like that. And they actually mentioned that we can also use their kitchen if you want to do a prototyping, because yeah, I mean like in Sweden, then everything has to be certified if you want to create the products. So that also helpful. And if I'm like, they also have a network, like for example like open labs and stuff, but yeah, because of corona, unfortunately that has to be closed and we cannot access for now.
Mhm. Yeah. And one thing about the production, because there's a lot of regulations in the food industry here in Sweden. Have you guys considered outsourcing the production? Like, I think there was the company that's called Renier, that some of their founders are also mentors in our program, and they did some lectures for us, and they outsource basically their production due to those restrictions and regulations. Have you guys considered that option, or you guys want to have your own facility in the future?
Yeah, actually, a team from Ranger is actually our mentor as well. So
Ah, cool, cool. That's interesting.
like he's our board of advisor. So he's been really helpful. So I mean, definitely we have to be realistic. Really, I mean, none of us coming from like a conglomerate family who have like 3 million crown or 3 million euro to buy the whole land or to buy the whole facilities. So I think we just have to be open-minded, and then let's see which one that is going to be beneficial the most. Outsourcing is definitely one of the way that we need to consider, and especially if we want to keep the cost low. but yeah, I mean, but we also have to have a big dream. So hopefully one day if we can have a facility, that would be amazing. But I guess it's gonna be like we have to take step by step. I mean, like for now, then we just have to work with all of the resources that we have.
So that
So
means for the beginning, at least, you guys will try to outsource, and then when you get more resources, you plan to start your own manufacturing facility.
yeah, I mean, it can be outsourcing, but it can also be collaboration with some specific company. Let's say if we found a company who also would like to develop the same products, then probably we can also collaboration with them. So in a sense, there's a couple of ways that we still can consider while maintaining the cost to be low.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's very interesting. And that's something probably by having the right mentors, like you said, like one of the guys from Henye being your mentors, that's a great asset for your company already, right from the start. And I think also having the incubator experts helping you out, that's definitely going to help a lot. One question about that, when you schedule like one-on-one meetings, is there any cost for you guys when you are in the incubator to have an expert going and joining you for a one-on-one session and explaining you stuff, or how does that work?
Actually, I'm not sure yet because we haven't really used that option for now.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I can go back to you in the later time.
Yeah, of course, and then we can just leave it in the comments of the video here, and that's okay. And talking about money grants and funding for your company, did you guys apply for the test grant that was available in our course? I also mentioned in my previous videos, and also the Leapfrogs grant, or any other grants that you also found outside of the university?
We did not apply Leapfrog under the consideration that like I have my job, and actually one of the requirement is actually we should not have any income.
Mm-hmm.
And basically me, Nick, and Jacqueline might not be eligible for that.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, Hannah also decided not to apply for that. So, but like we will just figure it out, because I think we might also have a plan on summer that we cannot really taken away from that. But yeah, and I mean, I felt like with all of the work that we have, then hopefully we still can survive during summer.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we apply for the test grant as well from the Lund, the network that we got. Yeah, we got granted from the test grant.
Cool.
So that's gonna be helpful when it's come to the prototyping.
Yeah, of course, because it's a good amount of money to get started and testing some stuff, especially in the prototyping phase. So how was that process to apply, and how was the selection process? Can you just talk a little bit about that as well?
It's pretty straightforward, I think. Like if you're a student from the Master of Entrepreneurship and Innovation, you just need to fill the form. Again, description about your projects, why your project is basically beneficial, and then who you are, who is your team, and then how you see yourself, and then like if you get the money, how will your money spend on. But this grant is basically for the testing, so it's more into like the testing the market, testing the products. So yeah, and then we just got the answer right away. We don't have any interview, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, there was no interviews on this one.
No, as far as I recall.
Oh, cool. I thought there was also interviews for this. Yeah, but that's very cool that you guys got the grant. So what are the plans now to spend this money and start the prototyping and be more efficient on it?
No, we need to buy a lot of beans. So yeah, we definitely gonna spend the money to buy beans for now.
All right, cool, guys. And I'll also leave a link here for your website. It's lufu.com, right? So
No,
anyone can check. .se, all right, .se. So I'll leave the link in the description of the video so you guys can check it out. You're also with the Instagram profile?
Yeah, it's also lufu.se.
All right, so Lufu.se. I'll leave as well a link here, guys, for you to check it out and follow them because it's a really nice startup idea. And I hope you guys go to the market as soon as you can with new recipes, man. That would be really cool.
Finger
So
crossed.
yeah. So just one final question here. So what would be your advice here for people that are applying for our program and that wants to start a company in the future?
Yeah. I think I have two suggestions. Like first of all, be open-minded. Remember, you're gonna be full of class of CEO who wants to be CEO, and then your idea might not be chosen. Your idea might be chosen, but then you have to make a compromise with other people, and we'll never know. I mean, yeah, the marketing course has been wild back then. Um, so that's the first thing, and the second thing is actually try to figure it out. What do you really want from these programs? Do you want to learn academically, or do you just want to get the diploma, or do you really want to learn in terms of technical stuff? If you want to learn specific things in a specific industry, like for example, like what we did with the food industry, then try to be proactive as possible. Try to join as many networks as possible, because I mean, because then the program itself is going to be really general when it's come to the business, but then you just have to find your own specialties, and that's not going to be covered in the programs. So yeah, just do it. If it's fail, it's fail. If it's success, it's success, but at least you will learn something out of it.
Yeah, that's it, man. That's a great advice right there, Yves. Thank you very much for being here on Britzzlink. And best of luck with Lufu. I hope you guys reach the market as soon as possible. I'll be definitely a client from you guys, so I need to test out the looping beans.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. And hopefully we will give you loop in production.
All right, that would be great, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this interview. If you did, just leave me one of these bad boys right here. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're not yet, because here we talk all about creating your own business, and I also share my experience in the Entrepreneurship and Innovation program at Lund University. So if you're interested, just hit the subscribe button and follow our channel. Hit the notification bell because you can get notified whenever I post a new video. It was supposed to be a weekly update, but since we started the master thesis, I switched to a monthly update due to constraints in time and a lot of activities going on simultaneously. So that's pretty much it for the monthly update. And I hope I can start bringing weekly content for you guys as soon as I'm finished with the thesis. All right. So thank you very much, and I see you on my next video.